So it's cold outside. Let's talk about getting some heat in your shop. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's getting cold outside and I needed an upgrade to my shop heat. What I had been using is this guy, the Big Buddy heater from Mr. Heater. And this thing works great. However, inside of a 2-car garage, man, it's just at the ragged edge of being able to keep it just bearable in here. So I went to Northern Tool, picked up one of these. I'll have a link down in the description below for one of these on Amazon if you want to pick it up. And it's a pretty good heater. Just keep in mind that if you buy something from my link on Amazon, it won't cost you a dime extra, and I'll make like a 2% commission even if you buy something that's not one of my links. But anyway, what this is a propane 40 to 60,000 BTU forced air heater. And like I said, after years of using that other one, man, why did I wait so long to get one of these? It really does a good job of heating this shop up. Now, this is on the smaller end of these. If you have a bigger shop than what I do, or it's better insulated, you're probably going to want something quite a bit bigger. You know, if you've got a 40 by 40 shop that's completely non-insulated with 12-foot ceilings, you're probably going to want the next size up one of these that's double that size. Now, you can get these in either the propane, like I have, or the kerosene/diesel fuel models. Both of them work great. We've got a bunch of stuff that runs on propane due to the, just the convenience of propane. I've got propane bottles around. All of our emergency heat stuff is propane. Propane grills, propane camp lights. We're just set up for propane, so that's what I went with this heater. Now, why did I choose the smaller one? A larger one would heat this place good, and I'd run it for a while and shut it off. It's not recommended. It's not recommended at all, actually. But in an emergency, we're talking about emergencies here, if I have to take this thing into the house, 60,000 BTUs isn't going to be just flat overkill. And we can keep everything ventilated enough that if something happens, at least we can keep from dying in the cold inside the house. Now, I do have a fireplace and a couple of these guys, but having a little bit redundancy in your system matters a lot for something. I don't ever plan on using this in the house, but if needed, the option is there. So I think it's important that we take just a second and talk about the pros and cons of this style heater, the forced air torpedo style heater. And it doesn't matter if you get one of these in kerosene or propane or natural gas, they've all got the same pros and cons. First and foremost, it's a forced air fuel powered heater. They heat the space up quick, like it doesn't take long. They're lightweight and portable, especially if it's the propane models. They're just extremely lightweight. They can fit inside of a cabinet or on a shelf. They don't take up any space at all. The kerosene models do have a tank on the bottom. You'll have to contend with that. But even still, they don't take up a whole lot of space. And they're really pretty efficient. This thing on high at 60,000 BTUs will run nonstop for about 7 hours. Crank that on down to 30,000, you're going to get double that, obviously. Now, with that being said, in here, I've just found that we only have to run it for maybe 20-30 minutes, and then I shut it off. When it starts to get a little bit chilly in here, I'll kick it on again for another 10 minutes because this shop's already warmed up a little bit. So it's a much, much further burn time, and that's speaking off of, your basic 20-pound propane bottle, that you use for your grill. So I don't know, you could probably get, if you were using it every day in the way that I use it, under the assumption that you'd be in the shop for 8 hours or so, you could probably get a couple weeks out of it because it really doesn't it's not a constant on like it was with the Buddy heater. So those are the good things about it. Oh, and it doesn't hardly take up any draw off of a generator. You do have to have electricity to run it, but it's all it is a fan, basically. So it doesn't take a whole lot. Now then, for the cons. For one, they're freaking loud. These things are loud. Loud enough that you're going to have trouble talking on the phone. And if somebody's on the other side of the shop, even if it's just a 2-car garage, they're going to have to speak up a good bit just for you to be able to hear them talk. There is a lot of heat that comes out of the front of this. So you need to make sure that there's nothing there that's going to, burn up. These do have an over temperature sensor, but there is no low oxygen sensor on it. Oxygen depletion or whatever you call it. So that's something you're going to have to pay attention to. We're all adults. We all need to use our brains. Don't kill yourself from carbon monoxide poisoning, because any fuel heat and any open flame can cause that. They're extremely lightweight. The propane bottles are portable. This being forced air, if I need to take it outside where I'm not in a building, I can face it at me and still stay somewhat warm, at least where I'm not freezing to death. So that's nice. But you just got to keep in mind that they are loud. Now, this is a problem mainly with this particular one. The one I'll post in Amazon, I'm pretty sure doesn't have this problem. But let me show you. There is no on-off switch. You can turn the flame on or off, but whenever you're not running it, you have to physically unplug it. You hear that? That's in the off position. You can't just reach over here and turn it off. Otherwise, the fan's going to be going and the igniter's going to be clicking the entire time. That right there drives me crazy. So you have to walk over here and physically unplug it to make the stupid thing shut up, which kind of sucks, to be honest. It's not that big a deal, but it does get kind of annoying whenever you have to walk over here, and actually plug it in and unplug it every time. It needs to either be turned on or it's warmed up enough that you need to shut it off. Like I said, the one that I'm going to post into Amazon will have a switch on the back that should stop that. That's the only thing I would really change about this heater in itself. I picked this up at Northern Tool. They had it on sale. Everybody makes these things. You can get one from Harbor Freight even. There's just a bunch of them out there. And I really do recommend, if y'all have a shop, look into one of these kind of heaters. It is a game changer for me. All right. Until next time, hey, you guys be safe.